Good night to all of you, especially many thanks to the World Peace Center, to the possibility to join efforts. Thanks really to everybody who has worked to make possible this conference. And I was asked to speak a little bit of the evolution of the concept of peace. As you remember, and we have just heard it, thousands of years ago, people were trying to find ways how to deal and in a non-violent way with the conflicts arising. But I think really the last 100 years, specifically after World War II, we have had a very clear conceptual development of peace. We started with the negative peace as the absence of war. And this brings us obviously against the physical violence. Later came up the positive peace with the institutional building, where in June 1945 in San Francisco was built United Nations, and where there were precisely the government committed to peace and security in a coming complex world after World War II. Later came the term structural peace, proposed first by the Latin American theory of dependency and systematized by the last survivor, the founder of IPRA, for International Peace Research Association, in 1964, Johann Galtung. In some years later, the environmental destruction, the problem with water, the problem with soil, the problem with air, with biodiversity and ecosystem, obviously brought us to work more on sustainable peace, which I had the chance to propose this concept at the 25th anniversary in 1989 in Groningen, when we were having this 25 years of IPRA working together in Holland. Obviously, we had after the Earth, the Summit of Earth in Rio de Janeiro in 1992, and 3 conventions came out. The one on biodiversity, the other one on conservation of soil, and obviously the Kyoto Protocol, and today the Paris Agreement on climate change. But strong relationships between UNESCO and IPRA were always supportive, both institutions, and we worked with the launch of the culture of peace. Later, Ellis Balding diversified this concept to cultures of peace, using the plural to promote a diverse, a culturally acceptable process. Obviously, the diversity in regional, ethnic, religion, and ecological terms oblige us to speak in a plural of culture of peace. Finally, from 2009 on, emerged the analysis of the origin of violence, of exploitation, of submission, of discrimination by the existing more than several thousands of years of the patriarchal system. And this was then called engendered peace and security. Precisely, the World Economic Forum in 2011, the richest people on earth who get together in Davos, found out that if we would have more equity in terms of men and women, we would increase immediately 15% of our GDP, our gross domestic product. But if we would have a total equity, the same amount of women in the government as men, in the business, in the society, in the schools, in all the activity, we could increase 25% the GDP of Earth. Therefore, our work is obviously in IPRA to link up all these processes from positive, structural, environmental, cultural and engendered peace in order to find a way how to overcome the present problem we have just heard about of inequality, trade war, environmental destruction, and increasing number of migrants, not only because of refugee and war, but also because of environmental destruction. It's really a big challenge, and I'm very happy that we can link us together with the World Peace Center in order to promote these challenges, to work together and to promote an engendered, sustainable, diverse and just peace all over the world. Many thanks.